Sometimes you just have to know all there is to know about little plastic hamsters, so I have put together a Zhu Zhu Pets iceberg. Zhu Zhu Pets were released in 2009 by Sepia LLC, originally a toy line of just hamsters, but as the brand grew, they branched out to making all kinds of other animals. Whilst most well known for Zhu Zhu Pets, Sepia LLC is behind Decora Girls, Cats vs Pickles, and Xia Xia Pets. Please tell me someone remembers these things, because they're on my list to make a video about. Zhu Zhu Pets were insanely popular on release, which was during the holiday season. They retailed for around $9, but resold for up to $100 because the demand for them was that high. They were marketed as pets without the mess, which was definitely a driving force for their popularity. As always, I've badly put together this iceberg myself, but if there's anything I missed, feel free to share in the comments. Modes. Zhu Zhu Pets have two main modes, nurturing mode and adventure mode. In nurturing mode, they stay still and make noises, and in adventure mode, they move around and explore their surroundings. I have been blessed with a very conveniently timed thrift find. Look at this diva. They have different buttons to switch between the modes, and I swear to God you have to be a wizard to work one of these things. Once this thing is on, I can't figure out how to get it off again. It is so stressful. Birthmarks. Just like My Little Pony cutie marks, Zhu Zhu Pets have birthmarks embroidered on their backs that represent their personality. Playsets. Zhu Zhu Pets have many different playsets that can be connected to each other. Some being stereotypical, ethically questionable hamster accessories like balls and tunnels, as well as more unconventional things like a jumbo jet and a pizza shop. I'm gonna play the adverts for some of these playsets because they are so nostalgic to me.
I take my puppy to the vet because I love my Zhu Zhu Pet. I love Zhu Zhu puppies. Then go buy some treats next door over at the grocery store. I love Zhu Zhu puppies. Zhu Zhu puppies and playsets sold separately. We love Zhu Zhu babies. Zhu Zhu babies all brand new from the land of babies. We will care for them or watch them play the nursery where they stay. Watch how mommy runs the show. She will make the nursery go. The babies will need constant care. They're so cute beyond compare. We love Zhu Zhu babies. Here's a cozy blanket set for the cutest babies yet. See the Zhu Zhu babies roll when they're on a stroll. There's so much to do in the land of Baby Zoo. Zhu Zhu babies, hamsters, and playsets sold separately. It's a Zhu Zhu Pets kingdom! Take a look and you will see. Now there's Zhu Zhu royalty. A pretty princess we proclaim. And Snow Cup is her name. Dressed up in their finest clothes. Every Zhu Zhu subject goes to the princess dancing ball. In the Zhu Zhu Pets great hall. Run your Zhu Zhu royalty right across the magic key. They will dance so gracefully at the Zhu Zhu Jubilee. Princess Snow Cup and Prince Dashington can dance all night at the Zhu Zhu Ball. An enchanted kingdom for one and all. Zhu Zhu Pets hamsters, playsets, and outfits sold separately.
Original hamsters. The first series of Zhu Zhu Pets featured Chunk, Num Nums, Mr. Squiggles, and Pipsqueak. Being the originals, they're used most often in marketing, for example being the main characters in the Quest for Zoo movie. Discontinuation. Due to decreasing sales, the original line of Zhu Zhu Pets were discontinued in 2013, but they didn't give up on the franchise as a whole and it was rebooted a few times after. Original name. In July 2009, Zhu Zhu Pets were first launched as Go-Go Pets, and the name was later changed to Zhu Zhu in October 2009. Spin-off lines / the Zuniverse. Okay, this is going to be a long one, but Zhu Zhu Pets had so many spin-off lines and sublines collectively referred to as the Zuniverse. Zhu Zhu Rockstars were first released in 2010, still hamsters but with mohawk-style hair. There were 12 hamsters released in total, and fun fact, this is the only subline to not have its own unique logo. The Wild Bunch was the first time the Zhu Zhu Pets brand branched out to animals other than hamsters. These were released in 2010 and featured animals like skunks, chipmunks, and raccoons. There was also an unreleased red squirrel design. Then shortly after, Kung Zhu was released, aimed at a male audience. I think it's really interesting how animal toys were viewed as feminine, like, this is literally just a hamster. But Kung Zhu was based on things like ninja, samurai, and the military. There was an unreleased Kung Zhu spin-off known as Kung Zhu Monsters. I think these designs are really cool, it's a shame they never came to be. Then came Zhu Zhu Princess, made to kind of be the girly counterpart to Kung Zhu. And there's a frog, oh my god I love him. Then Zhu Zhu Puppies, which were the first line to use unique molds rather than just using the hamster as a base. They contain a mix of realistic looking dogs and bright coloured ones. Zhu Zhu Kittens was a counterpart to this, but only 2 kittens were actually released. There were also 2 unreleased designs. I feel so robbed of Mr. Cozy, are you kidding me? The Zufari line was released in 2012 and was similar to the Wild Bunch, just with safari animals like a giraffe, a monkey and a lion, and they had baby versions. Out of all of the lines, Zufari had the most unreleased pets with a total of 12. And the final sub-series released before Zhu Zhu Pets was discontinued was Zhu Zhu Ponies. These are really cool, they're so tall compared to the Zhu Zhu hamsters, and stylistically they kind of remind me of Animal Jam. Most lines had their own Zhu Zhu babies. These were non-robotic, and instead they rolled around on a metal ball and were flocked instead of having fur. Movies. And another long-ass entry, we have Zhu Zhu Pets movies. They're a bit straight-to-DVD, how to rat-a-twang your panda vibes, but I ate it up every time. The Quest for Zoo was released in 2011 and follows Pipsqueak, who gets into an argument with her owner and travels to the Zuniverse to get away, where she meets Mr. Squiggles, Chunk and Num Nums, abandoned hamsters with actual trauma, who help her learn that her life is literally not hard at all. And they go on an adventure to help Pipsqueak get back home, where Pipsqueak's owners eventually adopts all of the hamsters. I watched this movie every single day for over a year as a kid. I don't know what I saw in it, but I know the intro song was good. That's still in my playlist to this day. So this is where things get kind of complicated with the movies. The Power of Zoo was a Zhu Zhu Pets movie that was supposed to be released in 2012. Whilst it was originally produced in English, it never aired in English-speaking countries, so only dubs were available. Therefore, the English version was considered lost media for 9 years until it was eventually found in 2021, obtained from a sepia employee. And finally, the third movie in the trilogy, The Secret of Zoo, was released in 2024. And you might think, that's a big gap, Zhu Zhu Pets had been discontinued for 11 years by then? Yeah, they just made this whole entire movie in the 2010s and just never released it until a few years ago. 2009 craze. Like many toys released around Christmas, Zhu Zhu Pets were a huge craze and parents were fighting for their lives to get them. There was a major shortage because of the popularity, which kind of ended up creating this sort of eBay black market. Sounds. Zhu Zhu Pets make more than 40 sounds. Figurines. This brought back a memory, oh my god, but flocked figurines known as Zhu Zhu Pets Mini were released. These figures were of existing Zhu Zhu Pets characters, but kind of with more personality or hobbies assigned to them. For example, Jilly as a cheerleader or Nugget with a flower. Hair in wheels controversy. Zhu Zhu Pets are notorious for catching hair in their wheels, which from experience is pretty painful and it can stop the wheels from working. Because of this, a warning label was added to the bottom of the pets reading "Caution, to prevent entanglement, keep hair away from wheels." DS games. What is an iceberg without some good old-fashioned shovelware? There were many Zuniverse DS games, including the first DS game released in 2012 was called Zhu Zhu Pets. Crazy that. It's a pet simulator style game where you take care of the hamsters and you can collect Zhu Zhu babies by completing adventures. Some releases of the game came with a blue Zhu Zhu baby called Baxter, who is actually one of the most valuable ZhuZus to collectors. Then came Zhu Zhu Pets 2 featuring the Wild Bunch, which was basically just the same game as the original, bar a few changes. There was also a Wii game with the same name, but this was a platformer instead. The Kung Zoo DS game was also released in 2010 and was pretty much the opposite of the past two games, being a beat-em-up platformer with a whole storyline and lore. Magical Zhu Zhu Princess was, you guessed it, another reskin of the original. Based on the movie we talked about earlier, Quest for Zoo from the Nintendo DS was a 2D platformer where you could play as one of the 4 main characters who each had their own special abilities. And Zhu Zhu Babies was almost the same game as the original for the 4th time. Zhu Zhu Puppies is the only one of these games I've actually played, if that wasn't obvious from the sort of surface level synopses of everything else. But Zhu Zhu Puppies returned to the classic virtual pet format, just in 3D this time. Some copies of the game came with a blue Zhu Zhu Puppies baby called Freckles. Most of these games had the same narrator, and she actually sounds on the verge of tears.
In a neighborhood not far from your own, there live a group of hamsters who love to play and explore.
Blink twice if you need help. Zhu Zhu Babies redesign. Zhu Zhu Babies were redesigned, and I won't lie, I kind of hate it. The new ones look so soulless, whereas the originals kind of resembled Sylvanian families a bit. Burger King toys. In 2010, a set of 16 Zhu Zhu Pet Burger King toys were available with different accessories. They came with either a surfboard, cart, snowboard, or hamster ball. Polly and the Zhu Zhu Pets. Polly and the Zhu Zhu Pets, later renamed the Zhu Zhus, was a 2016 TV show that aired on Disney Channel. When the name of the show was changed, so was the main characters, going from Polly to Frankie, presumably to avoid any confusion with Polly Pocket. This brand really likes changing names of things, I've noticed. Frankie is an 8-year-old whose family owns a plumbing company, and she owns the 4 hamsters, Chunk, Pipsqueak, Num Nums, and Mr. Squiggles, except Num Nums is purple now. 2024 reboot. Zhu Zhu Pets had a full reboot in 2024, and this time it's actually more centric around sea creatures, which I love. They also released some hamsters, a mix of old and new characters, and in a world of super flashy over-the-top toy designs, the simple look of these new hamsters is so lovely. Rarest Zhu Zhu Pets. Not counting factory errors or prototypes, some of the rarest Zhu Zhu Pets include store exclusives and pets released with DS games. Gender. Unlike many kids' toys which leave gender up to interpretation to encourage imaginative play, Zhu Zhu Pets each have a canonical gender. Name origin. Zhu Zhu is Mandarin for little pig, but it's also used as a term of endearment for anything cute or small. Hallmark Zhu Zhu Pet. There was a Zhu Zhu Pet release that was sold exclusively at Hallmark, and it was a white bunny called Fluffy for the Easter season. Quest for Zoo Happy Meal toys. In 2012, Happy Meal toys were released themed around the Quest for Zoo and the Power of Zoo. You know, that movie that was lost media for 9 years, there was merch of it. The Amazing Zoos. The Amazing Zoos was a 2014 spin-off line of magician-themed pets. These were more stylized and were made of hard plastic. These resemble rats more than hamsters and could perform tricks. I had a few as a kid and I loved them. EU exclusive. There were a few Zhu Zhu Pets sold exclusively in Sweden, Finland and Denmark, consisting of Moppet, Tulip, Meadow and Pounce. Special editions. Zhu Zhu Pets that were exclusive to certain sets or certain locations were considered special editions. These consist of Freckles and Baxter, the DS game exclusives, Justice, Carly and Fluffy, who are exclusive to certain shops, Luigi, who's exclusive to the Pizza Parlor set, love him, and many more. Prototypes. The prototypes for Go-Go Pets, sometimes seen in early advertising and checklists, had different facial features and bigger birthmarks. I honestly kind of love the big cheek look, I wish they kept that. Alongside that, many prototypes were made for Zhu Zhus that never ended up being released. For example, the entire Kung Zoo Monsters line and Zoolantis line. It was really interesting to read about where prototypes were found, some on eBay, some at toy fairs, and you can find lots of videos on YouTube of people showing off their prototypes. Furry Frenzies. In 2010, Hasbro released toys known as Furry Frenzies for their For Real Friends line, which were pretty much a rip-off of Zhu Zhu Pets. How they got away with that, I have no idea. Furry Frenzies had a wider variety of animals, which inspired Zhu Zhu Pets to go on and create their puppies line. Furry Frenzies even had a line known as Fur Stars on Tour, which took the same concept of Zhu Zhu Rock Stars. The Happies. The Happies were a toy line released by Sepia in 2014 based on the Zhu Zhu puppies, but instead with their own unique branding instead of using the Zhu Zhu name. They did use the same blue and yellow packaging colours though. Lullaby Hamsters. Lullaby hamsters were full-size Zhu Zhus made to go alongside the babies line to act as caretakers for them. And that's what my Zhu Zhu is, her name's Miss Mulberry. Build-A-Bear Zhu Zhu Pet. I'm so annoyed I didn't put this in my Build-A-Bear Iceberg, but an exclusive hamster was sold at Build-A-Bear called Carly, who I need, diva alert. There were also a few exclusive outfits available that came with gifts for the Build-A-Bearville website. Celebrity Rockstar Pets. Some rockstar pets were based on the children of celebrities. For example, Kingston was named after Gwen Stefani's child and Pax after Angelina Jolie's. Antimony controversy. In 2009, Good Guy performed a test on the Zhu Zhu pet Mr. Squiggles and found that he contained over the federal limit of antimony in his nose and fur. However, Good Guy's testing was not of the industry standard, and the Consumer Product Safety Commission, who is actually qualified to be doing this stuff, declared them safe. But it was a big scare at the time, and rest in peace to my partner's Zhu Zhu Pets who got put in the bin over this. Zoolantis. Zoolantis was an unreleased line of ocean-themed Zuzus which we were completely robbed of. Luckily they got their redemption arc 13 years later with Zuzu Aquarium. Virtual pets. There were these really funny looking Zhu Zhu Pet Tamagotchi-like virtual pet toys whose heads would slide up and down to reveal the screen. Scrap 2015 reboot. The second generation of Zhu Zhu Pets was planned in 2015 to go alongside the new TV show. These had more detailed embroidered eyes, and the lineup featured a mix of existing characters and brand new ones. However, this ended up being scrapped, and in 2017 these designs were reworked for an official release and made even worse in my opinion. Factory errors. Many factory error Zuzus have made their way out into the wild, whether that is being put in the wrong packaging, having embroidered details missing, or playing the wrong sounds. One of the most common factory errors is pets that should have black noses accidentally being made with pink noses instead. These pets can sell for a very high price. Also, for some reason I've written Yo Gabba Gabba on the end of this list, and I can't remember why. There's like an episode with hamsters, but that's the closest thing I can find. My phone does this really annoying like autofill thing, so my theory is maybe it like autofilled from my Miko Expo Iceberg because Yo Gabba Gabba was on there. But I'm very confused. If I'm wrong, please do enlighten me on the connection between Yo Gabba Gabba and Zhu Zhu Pets. God, that's the weirdest way I've ever ended a video. Before you go, I have something to show you. I published a colouring book. It's like different animals with flowers and plants. It took me like a year to draw all of the pages, so if you want to check out the link to it in the description, that would be really cool and swag of you. But that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and goodbye!